Shalom and welcome to our show. I'm Richard Peritz and our guest today is Dr. Abe Fischler, who is regarded as the father of Nova Southeastern University for his pioneering spirit in taking NSU on a journey to become a national leader in distance learning. Dr. Fischler has also authored several books on the delivery of education and reform in teaching methods. He's also closely involved in many other essential causes, from education worldwide and causes associated with Israel also. We'll hear his views on these subjects following these messages.
The day of termination of the British mandate for Palestine, we hereby proclaim the establishment of the Jewish state in Palestine to be called Medinat Yisrael, the State of Israel.
In the last 6 years, more than 8,000 Qassam rockets and mortar shells have been fired by Hamas terrorists in Gaza, at the city of Sderot, and other communities in Israel, killing and injuring many Israeli civilians and causing extensive damage. In a society in which the legitimization of terrorist murderers becomes a part of its ideology, then human morality no longer exists. This is the reason why Israel needs to defend itself and intercept weapons being shipped to the terrorists in Gaza and elsewhere, despite the hypocritical condemnation of Israel by some other countries. Israel wants peace and has shown restraint and made greater unilateral concessions for peace than any other country in history. Israel is forced to protect and defend itself when constantly attacked. With us now is Dr. Abe Fischler, President Emeritus of Nova University. Sir, it's a great pleasure to have you back on the show.
Good to be here again.
I know there are so many important and local and national causes, projects and initiatives you're involved with, and organizations and causes that you support, and also that you're continuously, throughout the years, you've been following developments in the state of Israel, its achievements in so many areas, including education. So I'd like to ask you how you see the challenges facing Israel at this time in history.
It's worse now than it's been before. The rise in anti-Semitism taking place, the ability of the Muslim community, the extreme Muslim community, to gain public relations support, which is interpreted in a way which makes Israel look more negative than they absolutely are. So Israel is in trouble because they've been unable to capture the world understanding of Israel and what it does and what it means to the world. And when I read that they're boycotting and buying Israel materials and stuff like that, they don't realize that in the stuff they are buying, there is Israeli products in most of the stuff. And the drugs, most of the drugs Israel founded that are now on the market in many countries, and they can't do without it. So Israel is not in a good position at the moment. And I just read this morning that they've added countries that are far worse in terms of human development, human support. And they sit on the council in the UN. 14 new countries got put on. None of them have what Israel has, which is a democracy where people can speak and educate and do good in the world. So it's, to me, it's an amazing thing that this is all occurring. But the problem is that it's not a simple question. It's not a simple solution. Israel is waiting, hopefully, that the rest of the world will wake up to what Iran is doing, which is preparing an atomic bomb. And where will they use it? Obviously, they're going to use it against Israel.
I can't help but think about how it seems that so many appalling problems and conflicts develop in this world within the fertile, infectious grounds of public ignorance. So many people's beliefs and actions are misguided by irrationalism, fundamentalism, and obscurantism, with numerous wars and atrocities being perpetrated by extremists who prefer cults rather than compromise or resolving issues in a civilized and productive, peaceful process of negotiation. Abe, it's just such a deplorable situation that extremism exists for centuries, long before the creation of the State of Israel, and one can only wonder about the significance of that. What are your thoughts on the history of the conflict surrounding Israel today?
Well, Israel is becoming a negative force and being blamed for some of the chaos that's going on in the Middle East, and that's not the case. the case is that they want Israel gone, and this type of attitude that exists among some of the countries and some of the people within those countries makes it more difficult for Israel to gain an opportunity to interact with people in Hamas and in Lebanon and Hezbollah. And so Israel is viewed as the problem when Israel is not the problem, because Israel is not the villain. Israel wants to live in peace, and they occupy their piece of land, and it's the land and Israel's presence in that part of the world that's the real problem, and they want Israel gone, and Israel has no place to go.
This is all very interesting, Abe, and I'd like us to continue, but we have to pause for these commercial messages. We'll be right back.